Alright, how's it going? My name's Flux Pavilion and you're currently on EDM.com. I reckon it'll be a lot more to do with songwriting. I reckon over the next couple of years, because I think it's gone from kind of being a very much underground kind of, I don't know, especially over here it was always like a niche thing and you had rock music, but then now dance music has become like, yeah, pretty massive. And I think there's going to be a smushing of the two, of kind of like literally all genres coming together and it just being about music. So it's not dance music anymore, it's not electronic music, it's not rock, it's just music. That's what I hope anyway. So then there's no pressure on anyone to write anything. We can all just write music that we want to write. I think, like from an early age, Frank Zappa was always the guy that just inspired my kind of ideas towards composition and kind of not necessarily following a structure, just kind of trying to do what feels right. And the music I've been into recently is more kind of like Julian Casablancas and what he's doing with the Strokes and Sigur Rós and and Vampire Weekend as well. I only discovered Vampire Weekend literally about 6 months ago, so I've pretty much had 3 albums in 6 months, which is really cool. But yeah, just kind of all sorts of sort of weird and wonderful things. I reckon probably Julian Casablancas. Just because, as the Strokes, they've kind of inspired me the way I think about writing chords and chord progressions, and like the way the chords work and the way he sings over the top is always just really interesting. I don't really hear it much in anyone else's music, where the way it's all staggered, and I've actually taken a lot from that in my own music. So I'd really love to actually sit with him and see, what he could do. Over the top of mine, that'd be pretty awesome. I don't know, it's an interesting question. Work. You gotta work. It was not really advice, more it's kind of a tip. It's like, you should probably, get your ass in gear and do some work and things will work out well. And that was a couple of years ago and things seem to be going alright. It wasn't so much advice, it was more of like a lesson I saw from watching Skrillex, like being on tour with him, and it was like I think one year he did 300 shows in the year, and even on his days off he was getting in the studio. Literally didn't take one day off in the year, and then look at what happened. Like his blowing up wasn't a mistake. He worked his ass off for that. And I was kind of like, you know what? Like, obviously you can sit and like write good music and stuff, but you've got to really put the work in and put the grind in, and that's how you get up to that top point. I think it doesn't matter, like some people don't want to get up there, but there's a general kind of piece of advice, like if you want to like hit that top goal, you really got to work for it, which I think is good for any walk of life, not just music. Just kind of put some work in. So all our signings now are to do with more musicians that we feel, the musicians and producers that we feel are actually doing something for themselves and something like quite inspiring, because that's like what the label was built on, the idea that we're actually just writing music for ourselves that we want to create. So we're not trying to sign the next dubstep track or the next this, we're trying to sign artists that are just going to write music, and then that will be where we go. Well, the two newest guys is obviously me, Dr. P, Cookie Monster, Funkcase, Rock Sonics, and we were always kind of doing like big jump up stuff. But Brown and Gammon was the one he was actually the second ever release on Circus was Brown and Gammon. But he was at university and studying and wasn't writing that much music, and all of his stuff, like I actually heard his music before I'd even made dubstep myself. It was always like, it inspired me. Then it got to the point where he was always, because he wasn't really a dubstep artist, he was just making all this kind of weird disco and electronic stuff, and we were like, this guy, I've just got a feeling, I still have a feeling about it now that he's going to sort of move on to just do some real crazy stuff.
One of my favorite artists.
But his newest tracks, like he just did this one new one called Dark Matter, which is just kind of a grooving sort of disco track. And all his new stuff is like that, like he doesn't really, he's making stuff at 140, but it's not dubstep anymore. And Mizuki's the same, he was signing along the same idea of just like, really just making interesting music that I can just listen through both their SoundClouds and love every track and not be like, oh, this is a hit, this is a hit. Like, I don't want to care about hits, I just want to care about good tracks. So that's why we signed these guys. So the Circus albums are kind of like, we viewed Circus 1 as the first chapter. We wanted to be like, this is what Circus is right now. And that kind of gave us the freedom, I think all of us, mentally to then progress and to go on to do different stuff. So Circus 2 is like, right, so this is what we're doing right now. So it's like chapter 2. That's why we went for the simple titles of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more just a representation of like
The current chapter.
What we're up to in a minute. And it's kind of like, it's really nice to do that because then we can all just take a deep breath and think about where we want to go forwards. Like, just kind of stamp it down and go, cool, we've done that now. Do we want to do more of this, or do we want to do something of that? All as artists kind of thing. Like, it's a nice sort of stepping stone, or a milestone I suppose, to then look forwards and look at what direction we want to go in. I'm doing another release this year. I'm putting that together at the minute, and because there were 2 of the tracks on the EP, Starlight and Scientist, had me singing on, which is something that I've been wanting to do for ages. I sing live on my sets now, but it's hard to DJ and sing live. So I'm developing my live performance to include a lot more kind of live elements. So it's kind of like a hybrid live DJ set where I get to play guitar and sing. So musically, thinking forwards, I'm going to sort of think a lot more about that, about how I can actually take my sort of singer-songwriter sort of element of how I like to write into the electronic music without jeopardizing my thing, if you know what I mean, because I love the tunes I write. I don't just want to go off and just do something completely off the wall, but that's kind of the plan, is do some more singing and see where that goes. Biggie. Producing. Actor. English breakfast. Blondes. Guys in wheelchairs getting lifted up and crowd surfing. It would be a silver cat. Daft Punk.